Good morning, folks. That's the San Jacinto Trail Report from up here at San Jacinto Peak on Tuesday the 23rd of January 2024. Delayed sunrise going on behind me there, delayed by some patchy cloud over towards the Salton Sea. Beautiful clear morning, can see the geothermal plants all the way on the south side of the Salton Sea this morning. And as you can see, it's taken until late January to get here, but finally we've had a reasonable snowstorm. In fact, actually technically two snowstorms back to back, one on the Saturday 20th, one yesterday Monday 22nd, and at least up here both have produced basically the same amount of snow, 8 inches on both. I came up in between on the Sunday as well. Although they were technically separate storms, they sort of merged into one because the Sunday stayed cloudy all day, actually carried on drizzling on and off in Idlewild. Even had a little bit of drizzle up here at San Jacinto Peak on that day. So up here 8 inches plus 8 inches, and there was an average of it was a very drifted kind of 3 or 4 inches remaining up here. So currently about 20 inches at San Jacinto Peak. I'm in snowshoes, hopefully you can see that. Up here it's definitely, it varies from a few inches deep to a foot or two deep in places due to the drifting, but broadly speaking about 20 inches with the drifting. Expect that you might go in, at least a couple of feet deep in places. Snow level was consistently down to about 7,000 feet. Dusted in places down to about 6,000. Snow conditions might be a little peculiar in places, especially between about 8 to 9,000. Yesterday when I spoke to Kyle Eubanks, he came up through Round Valley. He actually had some drizzle on him yesterday, even though we also had a fair bit of snow, and that was at 9,000 feet. And as he descended, he said he had some instability in the snow. Not avalanche type instability, the snow's far too shallow for that. But if you're snowshoeing through it, you might suddenly go through, right now we've got old snow, then new snow, then kind of an ice layer from drizzle, then new snow, then maybe even a bit more drizzle on top of that. Multiple layers. So don't be surprised if you feel like you've got a firm footing in your snowshoes and oil post holing, and suddenly you drop through a bit further than you expected. Snowshoes obviously ideal at the moment, pretty much everywhere above about 8,000. And post holing, as I say, the snow's actually not that deep because we've had, generally speaking, so little snow so far this year. Temperatures currently about 20 Fahrenheit up here, wind chills about 6, so that's about minus 15 centigrade, somewhere in there. It's forecast to warm up quite dramatically. I can already feel it. It's surprisingly warm up here this morning compared to what it's been like the last couple of days on my earlier hikes. And there is actually forecast for well above average, far above average temperatures, at least at the mid elevations, for much of the rest of this week through next weekend. Supposed to get close to, or maybe even above freezing up here, air temperatures for much of this week. And so with a lot of direct sun, there'll be a lot of pretty rapid melting. But in the interim, very pretty as always, and safe hiking, everyone.